that I was going to plan this just delightful speech, but the way things have gone this year, just not as planned. I figure it's just better if I just wing it, because things would change and it wouldn't matter. And it's more entertaining that way anyway. So you get your camera out there, Shannon. That way you'll get to hear it all. But
we're rolling.
So tonight we get to celebrate our wonderful season. We get to celebrate our team accomplishments. We get to celebrate some individual accomplishments as well. So, as I look back over the season and think back through the entire year, it's one of those things that I don't think anything kind of went the way that I had envisioned it. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Probably, on the field, off the field, nothing really happened the way that I thought it was that I thought it was going to happen. We started off in the fall. We kind of finished off where we ended in the spring of last year, where we were on a streak. I mean, we were taking people to town, and we were winning a lot of games. We're playing a lot of really good ball, being very competitive. And then we take that into the fall, and we follow that up. We had some really good, camps. Had some folks come in from, had Jason Maxwell that came in. We had Andy Bill for pitching. Had a couple folks that came in and helped us, and I felt like we really established a good base. Well, let me take that back. Then I had one kid that decided he would, would break his collarbone. I don't know who that was.
Twice.
3 or 4 times, I think. That time it was all over. So that was step number one. Things just didn't go the way I was expecting it, but that's life, right? And so, but we had a really good fall. We win the tournament. Maybe you look at it and go, well, the competition maybe not as good as we've seen, but I think the thing that I was proud of is that we should have beaten those teams, and we did. Like, we took care of business. We were the team that I thought we were. And then we come into the winter. Had an awesome indoor workout there at Area 615. We were working twice a week. We were hitting, and I know at one point, Coach Pretty over there, Coach Ben, says, how are we going to hit for 2 hours? Well, we did. We hit for 2 hours, and then we came back and we hit again for 2 hours at another time, and we hit some more, and we did do some fielding, and so we did all that, worked hard in the winter. And then we come out and play our first tournament, and I mean, what did we do? We hit the tar out of the ball. I mean, we were crushing it. And it's one of those, as a team, I know that's an area that we haven't necessarily been a strength of ours. We've done okay, but we came out and we were scorching the ball, which was awesome. It's awesome to see, and that's the talent that you all have. So it is there. Don't ever question your talent that you have, because it's there. So we come out, we hit the ball, we're doing really well, and then, well, what happens? We have middle school tryouts. And I think 9 out of the 11 boys make a middle school team, which is awesome. So proud of every one of y'all that tried out and made a team, and that was your goal. It's been your goal to make a team, and it was as a coach, I think I told a couple of the dads, like, I felt like a proud dad, like a proud parent. For some of y'all to get these videos of y'all pitching or hitting or playing in middle school ball, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I know those boys, and they're doing great. They're doing great jobs on the bigger field. They're not used to it. They're going out there, they're competing as 6th graders against 7th graders, sometimes 8th graders, and so great accomplishment. On the flip side, unfortunately, from a Bombers perspective, it kind of took away some of the momentum that we had going. We changed distances from our hitting, which throws off timing, throws off our throwing, from pitching, it throws off our fielding, throws off everything. So we come back, and we weren't the same. Part of it you could look at it and go, maybe we forgot how to practice, because practices in JV and practices in middle school are a little bit different. I don't know what it was, but we were a different team. So again, you're looking at it, something that I wasn't expecting. That being said, we get through probably May. We finally get through middle school ball, and we get Bombers back rolling full time. We're going full time with Bombers, and we kind of have a couple hiccups. And then Coach Clark has kind of a little bit of a semi-meltdown after Hustle Factory. One of the players is over there, so I won't say it too loud. You know, but y'all responded. And that's what I'm proud of probably the most from this season, is that we were probably at a maybe arguably all-time low from a Bomber team that I've coached. I mean, we were not playing good at all. I mean, you know, here and there we're making some plays, but we weren't playing very well. But we were able to turn it around, and by the end of the season, we put a goal out there. It's like, guys, we got to hit. You know, do y'all remember what I said I wanted y'all to hit at the end of the season? What was our average? 300.
No, it was like 380.
Close. I'm glad y'all remember these goals we have. 350. 350, right? 350, because at that point we were hitting. Hey!
Your neighbor said hello.
We knew something was happening over
He
there.
goes, my name's Clark. He goes, okay, next door.
Next door. Next door. That's awesome. See, he can come over if he wants to.
Hey, you might want to smooth over.
So we were hitting 295 at that point as a team. And we'll talk about some of the stats here. But by the end of the season, y'all did a really good job hitting. Meanwhile, we're building for Cooperstown. And again, super proud of the way that y'all responded there at Cooperstown. We had really good first couple games, and then the sleep deprivation certainly kicked in. But then when we got to play in bracket play, y'all played some amazing baseball. And I can think of one play in particular that sticks out in my mind because we really hadn't done it well all season. And it was a daggum rundown. I mean, how many rundowns have we just absolutely destroyed terribly? But there was a rundown that we had where we probably threw the ball 3 or 4 times, and I'm pretty sure I look over and the entire team is lined up. We got 4 people this way and 7 people this way, and you know, a couple guys that were on the bench that inning were out there, you know, doing something. But we make the play, we executed, and that was, for me, it was a defining moment because we came together as a team. Everybody was involved. Everybody was a part of the play, and we got the out. And so that continued even after Cooperstown, where we had some really good moments that were going on, and how everybody rose to the challenge and got better through the season. So as a team, it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen, but at the end of the day, I saw improvement, which is our goal.
Like went in the neighbor's house.
Uh-oh.
Like in.
No way.
Open the
Said,
door.
hey, Clark. I kind of feel bad.
I told you I wasn't going to plan a speech because something was going to happen.
So yeah, my wife.
You're lucky you didn't get shot.
You're still videoing, right?
Yes.
You're still videoing. So just kind of compare, like we did last year. I like to kind of give us a comparison how we did as a team. So 2017, we went 30-21. I think that's fall and spring. In 2018, we went 26-22. So not quite as good. Not quite as good. But let's start looking in on some of the specific stats. So plate appearances, just so you get an idea. Hey, you know, did we is it similar or whatnot? Last year we had 1,231 plate appearances. This year we had 1,206. So very close with fewer games. We played I think it was like 6 fewer games, something like that, and almost the same amount of plate appearances. Last year we batted 336. This year we batted, anybody want to guess?
358.
Not quite.
352.
Close. 345. 345. So we had improvement there. Sometimes it may not felt like it, but we did. We got better. 350 was our goal. When we were batting 295, our goal was to get our team up to 350, which meant we had to bat close to 400 the rest of the season to get up there. So y'all did a really nice job improving. And a lot of that, the hard work you put in, but also we got further and further away from middle school ball, so you started seeing the ball better. On base percentage last year 466, this year 445. You'd kind of expect it to go down a little bit. Pitcher's getting better, it's a little bit harder, seeing more curveball, so pretty similar. Slugging percentage last year was 410. Y'all know what slugging percentage is? It's basically how many times you get multiple bases, so doubles, triples, home runs. All right, easy way to explain it. This year was 498, so almost 500. So big improvement there. RBIs last year 237. This year 274. So better. We drove people in this year. We got people on base, and I remember this year not having that frustration so much. If we get a man in scoring position, can we get them in? We did a better job this year of doing that. I mean, last year I wanted to, you can tell I have fewer hairs. That was mainly from last year pulling them out. This year was a lot better. This is a big difference. This is where that slugging percentage comes in. Last year we had a total of how many home runs as a team?
12.
Close. 9. We had 9 last year. That may have included inside the park somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
33.
Spencer, you had inside the park last year, I think. Maybe? Maybe?
Yeah, 'cause you have some-
This year, anybody know as a team, just the spring,
30?
pretty close, 31. So we went from 9 to 31 on our home runs this year. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories that I just listed, 4 out of the 6 we got better. So I mean that's it. At the end of the day, wins and losses.
Coach,
Yes,
31 home runs
31 home runs.
from how many?
9.
Applaud y'all.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good, right?
That's,
Good
that's
work.
huge.
Yep. And it's not like y'all really grown a ton. Talk about that. a
Hey,
little bit.
31 home runs, huge.
That's big.
Boys, be proud. 31 home runs.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, let's go walk in the neighbor's house. Hey,
Hey,
31.
they're like, what?
31. It's a big deal. So when you look at it, well, I'll go down through it here. So defensively, a couple of the big stats to look at: errors, double plays, those kind of things. Last year we had 83. This year we had 69. So we went down. Now, you know, somebody may have paid y'all are silly. 68 errors. How about that?
Okay.
So then, they're unbelievable, aren't they? So then, pitching, let's look at pitching stats. So last year we gave up 332 hits. This year 339. So close. Runs, 305 runs given up. This year 297. Last year base on balls 145. This year 172. It's probably the one area we could get better is our throwing strikes. Last year 210 strikeouts. We pitched 210 strikeouts. This year 158. People are getting better at hitting, you know, so that's part of it. ERA last year 6.54. This year 5.38. So we got better on our ERA from the pitching. And then, you know, again, looking at it, wins and losses, 26 wins this year and 22 losses. Last year, 30 and 21. Better record last year. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, a couple years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, is your high school coach, your college coach going to say, hey, what was your record in travel ball with the Bombers? Probably not. But what's important is, are you getting better? So that's what's important. This as a team shows me that you're getting better. All right, there's still improvement, lots of improvement. But the hard work that you put in each and every day leads to results, okay? So that's why we talk about it at practice. Take every pitch that you get. Take every ball that you get to field. When you're hitting, when you're pitching, in the game, whatever position you're playing, get better. Get better, develop. That's what we're here for, is development. I certainly, you know, I like to win because I'm competitive. I really like to win because I'm really competitive. But if we're winning a bunch of games and we're not really getting better, then it's all for nothing, Okay, so the goal is for you to get better. Good? Now talking about that, we're talking about your sizes. We play, how many teams do we play that were bigger than us?
All of them.
Pretty much every one of them. Pretty much every one of them. And some of those losses that we could chalk them up to dude that's, 5'10", 255 pounds hitting a pop-up. And it's a home run. And we put everything we got into it soaking wet, and we hit it 196, So that's part of it. It's part of it. Next year, I think we're in a better shape. All right, we're in better shape because those pop-ups aren't home runs next year. Hopefully they're outs, right? And there were some teams, I can think of Kentucky Beast, I can think of some, I can think of lots of teams that we played this year that fundamentally in the field, they didn't look very good. Pitching-wise were okay. They just had big old boys that could put check swings on it and hit home runs, okay? So that also tells me, I'm looking at every one of you, that at some point, looking at your dads, y'all are going to get bigger. You're going to get bigger. All right? It's just going to happen. When it happens, it's going to happen, and you're going to explode, okay? But until then, keep working on the fundamentals. Keep getting better in that aspect so that when your body starts to grow, then you continue to improve. Good? All right. Proud of y'all again for the season as a team. It was fun to see the improvement y'all had at the end there for sure. All right, y'all ready for individual recognition? No? Okay, ice cream? Y'all want ice cream? Is that what it is? All right.
Somebody want to face, do y'all have Isaiah's phone? Do you have
I do.
Isaiah?
Whenever it's time for his, just
Okay.
FaceTime.
Okay.
I think I do.
The kids, maybe, yeah. She just said.
Yeah, she did. I put my arm up there.
All right. Y'all want to guess whose this one is? Yours?
I'm gonna guess Garrett.
I do.
Garrett
I do have
Dane.
my-
Oh, really?
Y'all sing the song.
Garrett Dane.
Garrett Dane, Garrett Dane, Garrett Dane. So these are cool little, cool. Oh, you gonna hug me? You gonna hug me? So these are nice little gloves here. A lot of you I know got Cooperstown balls. So we thought this would be a really cool little thing. If you did get a Cooperstown ball, or most of you got home run balls, you got some kind of ball. All right, if you need a ball, I'll give you a ball. Again, practice ball. Was it extra Dick's practice balls on them or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
I got A-Dub ball in there. Go get your balls. I'm tired of hearing about it. Mr. Garrett Dean. So, it really was fun to watch Garrett this year and the improvement that he made from the beginning to the end. And I know he was probably sick of myself and Coach Ben, really harping on him to stay on his feet. We never said anything about that, right? Not at all, right? So, Garrett, with all this athleticism, got a big arm. There was a couple different games where Garrett would come up and throw the ball home, and the third base coach sitting there, and he's like, "Where do you find that arm? That's unbelievable. Where do you get that?"
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Talk a little louder.
So you got this coach, and so Garrett has a gift that God gave him, and it's strength in his arm, and it's natural abilities. Is that better? You can come a little closer.
Is that better?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
It's good, thank you. And so as Garrett progressed through the season, I mean, it was very cool to watch how it goes from potentially going down on the ground, not comfortable catching a fly ball, to wherever the ball was hit, dude was tracking it down. I mean, there were several, even coming as recently the Triple Crown tournament, balls hit over his head. First thing he does, drops his head, turns and runs and goes and tracks it. And that's a natural gift. That's not something that you can teach it. You can teach it. We do teach it. But it's hard. It's something that not every kid has. And it was something that's special that Garrett has. And really proud of the way that you improved it throughout this year. And you got something that several coaches recognize. It's like, y'all got an outfield out there that's something that we don't have. I'm like, you're right, you don't have it. And I'm glad we have it. So, congratulations, Garrett. Thank you for a great season. Guess whose this is? Are y'all looking? Brody Walker. Come on over here. Brody wants to give me a hug too. Brody's getting taller. You getting taller? It looks like it. So Brody, Brody makes this middle school ball team, and he can't pitch for us for probably 2 months, and it was hard. It was honestly hard because Brody's one of our guys that I love to throw out there. He's confident. He goes out there and he can get it done. And so when I think about Brody this year, there's a couple different things that stick out in my mind. It was this last tournament with the Triple Crown, where he goes out and throws a complete game, right? 5 innings, 6 innings, time limit they got. Goes out there and shuts them down. I mean, it was 10, or it was a run rule. I think it's 10-1, something like that. Fastball, command of the fastball, but really what helps you out is all speed pitch. And being able to throw that at any point in the count is awesome, and that'll carry you a long way. But I take it further back to Cooperstown and the complete game that he threw there, and that was, it was a special moment. And it's one of those that, as a coach, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm looking at the pitch count and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But at the same time, it's Brody Walker, and if there's anybody that I have trust that I know can throw that, it's Brody Walker, because he goes out and pretty much works every day on his pitching and his hitting and everything else. So if anybody could have done it, it was Brody, and he did go out there and do it. And he had several umpires that came up to him after the game that said, that was awesome. I'm not supposed to give you game balls, but here's the game ball. Or actually left it in the planter over there and said, see y'all later, get your game ball. So he kind of snuck it in there. But amazing job at pitching for sure. Really solid work at hitting. So stats, can't remember, I think Brody finished maybe 5th or 6th in hitting. I wrote a few of these things down. Brody finished 6th in hitting on average. Had 3 big home runs this year, which was awesome. I know he was working hard to get those home runs. He got his first one, walk-off grand slam. Walk-off grand slam. Way to get a first home run. Holy smokes. And then he gets a couple more later, which is incredible. Number 1 in ERA on the team at, did I write it down? 3.068, I believe that's what I have him at for his ERA. And again, I remember one game where it was 3-2 and we threw a curveball and struck the guy out. So not only that, in the field, you were able to go out there and play consistent around the field. So nice work, Brody. Thanks for
Don't
awesome
forget you
season.
ran somebody down, Coach.
Well, you ran somebody down? What?
Yeah.
Never had the people, wasn't it?
Brody ran somebody down?
Yeah.
He was the guy ran down.
I probably passed out at that point.
You blocked it out of your
I blocked it out of my memory. I don't remember it. All right. What we got now? All right. Who's next?
Everybody.
Nope. Russ Lambert.
No.
Oh.
Whoa.
Come on up, Russ.
Yeah, I'm usually last.
There you are.
Skip me.
Last in our hearts, number 1 in our. I'm not sure. Wait a second. All right. So
you ain't ready.
it's always tough to talk about this guy. Actually, Russ, in many ways, unfortunately, reminds me a lot of myself. And so the things that I'm most proud of, I'm usually like, yeah, I did that. The things that I'm not proud of, yeah, I did that. So that's the hard thing. And especially when sometimes it comes to practice, I tend to take that mentality of, this is practice. Let's make this fun. Well, sometimes that isn't the best thing. And I see that in Russ. But I tell you what I was most proud of Russ this season is his development as a catcher, because I love that spot. It's a good spot. But to see him grow this year as a catcher, I got to see him do it in middle school ball, but then with Bombers baseball to see him develop there from, blocking, from throwing, but then also toward the end of the season really challenged him to step up more as a leader. And I asked all of our catchers to do that. Get out in front of the plate, call out where the play is going to go, take charge. And Russ did that, which I'm super proud of him for doing that. But probably the biggest thing that I'm most proud of him from that standpoint is his development and wanting to get better. He came to me, took the initiative, and said, "Dad, I'm having a hard time with the ball outside, and so I need to help me get better." And that's something that all of us, whether it's in baseball, whether it's in work, whether it's in marriage, whether it's in whatever it is, we can't be afraid to ask for help. That's how you get better, right? I need help. Somebody help me. And so that's a big deal. It's not easy to ask for help to get better. It takes a lot of courage. Sometimes you have to admit that I'm not the best at something, or I've got a flaw. But Russ took that initiative to get better, and he did get better. Super proud of him for that, and that's going to take you a long way, not just in baseball, but in life, to be able to continue to do that. So thanks for an awesome season. Enjoy coaching you. It's okay, you don't have to cry.
Hey,
Okay? Russ, you get a picture.
You could just wait till after.
That's right. Good. Good. All right.
Man, nice whack
Hey. What's that? Aaron Beeman's got poison ivy. I used to be highly allergic to poison ivy. I'm better now. It's good. All right, who we got? Peyton Curtin.
Oh yeah.
Brightest shirt out here. Everybody see him?
Yes.
You got him? All right. So many things I could say about Peyton. Most of them bad, but I'll try to pick the good ones. All right. I'm kidding. So Peyton, again, love watching you play. This year was a really fun year, especially coming out of last year where you got hurt, which stunk. And I know it stunk for you. And I know you were anxious to get out there and play again, but super fun to watch you get out there and compete. At catcher, number one, it was always fun to be able to stick you out there. And we kind of knew that the other team probably wasn't going to run a lot, because once they saw you throw the ball to second base, they're like, yeah, probably not stealing. All right, and that's a huge advantage that you have. If you can stop runners from going, especially if you're getting into scoring position, then you got a leg up on the competition, especially at this age where you can steal probably 50% of the time or more. So awesome. Not only that, the development of rounding out being a catcher, whether it's blocking, throwing, like I said, being more of a leader, being more vocal. I know that's something that you worked on. And then hitting, unreal. I think at the end of the season, I think I wrote it down, I think it was over 600, I believe, by the end of the season. So that's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. Over 600 batting average. That's not on base percentage. Home runs, 11, is that right? 11 home runs. So a third of the home runs that were hit this year came from Peyton. That's awesome. And then toward the end of the season, branching out and being able to play some third base, play some infield. You do a really nice job there. Now, it certainly helps being a catcher. You just kind of bull in the china shop, ball comes at you, nothing gets by you. That's good. I love that mentality. And that's something that'll take you far in whatever sport you play, is being tough. So, awesome season. Proud of you. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Brian, you want a photo? A little bit later. A little later. I got all these notes. I haven't looked at them yet. Keep it rolling, right? All right. Brady Shoemaker.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Are you live?
FaceTiming.
You're FaceTiming? All right. So Brady, a lot of fun things I can say about Brady. It was good getting to know him a little bit more at Cooperstown, but those things that happen in the barracks stay in the barracks. So that's all we have to say about that, right? But no, it was really fun to watch watch you play this year, Brady. You know, some things that stick out to me are the pitching, and you being able to go out there consistently. I know on Sundays, it was nice to be able to say, let's throw Brady out there. Dude's going to throw strikes. He's going to put the ball over the plate, let him put the ball in play, and we'll make outs and we'll get them out. The thing that I think surprised me the most is that you put it over the plate, but you struck a lot of guys out, and that's even more beneficial when they don't even have to put the ball in play. We're getting outs. You know, I look at specific moments like Cooperstown, where you pitched a complete game on our first game of the bracket play. Again, just super cool, super fun moments to see how you develop throughout the season, and had a defining moment there at Cooperstown with your pitching. And then I'd say toward the end of the season, with your hitting, it was, I mean, unbelievable, on fire. You know, every time you're at the plate, you're hitting the ball and you're hitting it hard. You know, going back to Cooperstown, being able to get that home run. You know, you may need to pay a couple extra dollars to Shannon Dean for the bat, but I don't think it was a bat. You were the one putting the ball in play, hitting it square on the nose, and making some really cool things happen. Now, I probably have to question your coach's judgment of letting you go on vacation before we finish our tournament at Triple Crown, but who is that guy? But one of our better pitchers, one of our better hitters lets him get away. But other than that, Brady, awesome season. Appreciate it. Enjoyed working with you. Here's your trophy.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Yeah. He said thanks, Coach.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Brady. Lincoln Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think in ways Lincoln reminds me of myself too. We kind of like to have fun, right? We like to have fun. Lincoln keeps it loose. I think Lincoln's one of those guys that I go to when the team kind of gets a little sleepy in the dugout. He's a guy that can kind of create some energy, which I love. And you know, it's important that you maintain that energy throughout the game. And if I look over and Lincoln's quiet, I know something's going on, because the dude's usually jacked up pretty good. And you need that. You need that. That's being a part of a team. It's helping get everybody fired up and keeping everybody motivated. Sometimes baseball gets a little bit tense, and you need to lighten the mood every now and then. All right, I can count on Lincoln to do that. One of the probably maybe one of the most fun moments with Lincoln is at Cooperstown, and I'll get to this moment maybe a little bit later, but Mr. Aaron Beeman gets up there and he's dealing on the mound, and he's striking these guys out. What was the guy? What did we call the guy? Diego. We don't even know what's his name, though, do we?
That was his actual name.
It was his actual name. All right, okay. So Pedro. All right, so we strike out Diego, and you know the other teams over there, they're just like, what is going on over there? You know, what is happening to us? We're falling apart. You know, and Lincoln just looks at him and says, "It's okay, boys. Don't feel bad. He's only pitched 2 innings this year." You know, and he makes sure to let them know, you know, hey, it's all right. So, you know, that's Lincoln. You know, he's keeping everything lively for you. So I think one of the cool moments for Lincoln this year that I think helped him grow as a player, you know, as a pitcher, he gets up there and we're playing against the Kentucky Beast. And it's one of those where you sit there and you go, whoever you put on the mound today, well, your ERA is going up by about 20 because they're just going to hit the ball. And that's part of it because they're big old boys. Lincoln goes out there, does pretty good for about an inning or two, and then they start wearing him out. And they really wasn't that, I mean, they were check swinging, hitting home runs. And I go out there and I talk to Lincoln, and Lincoln's like, Coach, I'm just not very good today. And I'm like, no. He's honest. You got to love the honesty. He's like, I'm just not very good today. And I'm like, Lincoln, you're doing great, buddy. You know, these guys are big. What can we do with big guys? Well, you can throw low, you can throw outside, you got to be selective with your pitching. But what you can't do is you can't give up. And Lincoln didn't give up. Lincoln went back out there and he finished the game and finished 2 or 3 more innings and did an amazing job and shut them down. And so what I loved is that Lincoln had that spirit of, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to work hard regardless of the situation. Things may be stacked against me. Coach, why did you stick me out here and get you a bunch of Goliaths? But that's okay. That's the situation, and I'm going to fight through it. and I'm going to do a job. Lincoln's got some nasty stuff as a left-hander that I think is going to take him a long way in baseball. And after that moment, staying confident regardless of the situation, I think is going to take you a long way too. So proud of you, Lane. Appreciate you, bud. I like
Bad lighting.
Yeah, like bad lighting. That's what it is. We can fix that. Isaiah, you still got Isaiah working on.
Oh, I have it on his. I have a FaceTime.
What's that?
I
You got
can-
FaceTime?
Yeah, do you want me to right now?
Pull him up, and then we'll do it after this one. Saxon Roberts. Eric, y'all keep it quiet. No clapping. All right. Let's not clap for Saxon. All right. Saxon, so thoroughly have enjoyed having you on the team this year. Been able to work with you. You know, unfortunately, got hurt at the beginning of the season.
Hey,
Got you
Jim.
in the spring.
You guys cool?
But I loved in the fall when
Good.
you came out, and you're hurt. And you can't play. But you show up at the tournament, and you're part of the team. You know, instantly you hit it off with the kids, with the rest of the team, and immediately you're there and you're encouraging everybody, and you're having a great time. Fast forward to the spring, come out, do an amazing job hitting. I'm pretty sure you finished, I think, 475, maybe somewhere in that range for batting average, which is awesome. 7 home runs, big bomb. So you're looking at that almost again close to second on the team, or third on the second or third on the team for home runs. Garrett, I think I've missed you. I think you had 7. So you may have been second or third on home runs. So awesome job when I forgot that. But Saxon comes out, and you know, I talk about Saxon maybe being my ESPN highlight reel, because there were some plays out there that he was making all over the place. The first one I remember is against Diamond City, the 12th time that we played him. Saxon's in left field, the ball's hit to his right, and he goes over and just absolutely lays out for it and catches it. And then I think about the play in Cooperstown where we turn a 9-2-6 double play, right? Where Saxon catches a ball on the right field wall, catches it, comes up, fires it 200 feet in the air. Russ Lambert comes up, catches it, throws the guy out at second. But we don't have a chance, if Saxon's not the athlete that he is, to be able to go back, catch the ball, throw a laser beam home, give it to Russ quick enough that we can turn around and get him out at second. So really fun to watch, and even, you know, lots of potential, lots of runway to go in your development in this game. And so excited to certainly to see how you continue to progress. And it was an awesome season. So appreciate it, Saxon. Thank you, brother. You got Isaiah Russ?
No, he did not answer.
He didn't answer.
No.
He's probably playing Fortnite or something. Aaron Beeman, aka
Don't touch him. Don't touch
Poison
him.
Ivy. Poison Ivy, he can't spread, can he? Can't spread. Where'd you get Poison Ivy?
Picking weeds.
Picking weeds? Who had him picking weeds?
Alec.
Alec, blame it on the brother. Come on in here.
You don't want that.
Brother Aaron. So Beeman again. It's I can't help but love these boys that play catcher, because I mean it's the best spot to play, right? It's so much fun. Aaron, and we've talked about it since Aaron was probably 6, 7, 8. The cool thing with Aaron is the dude knows baseball. He knows baseball, and that's a very important aspect to be as a catcher. You got to know the game. You got to know the game. You got to know every situation, where the ball goes, because you're the leader, you're the general on the field. And so that's one thing that this year that sticks out to me is Aaron's ability to lead either off the field or on the field as a catcher. He jumped on early, you know, coming out front, being the field general, knowing what to do, you know, knowing where to go with the ball, directing people where to throw the ball, where to hit the cut, these kind of things. You know, it's one of those that it's not natural sometimes for some folks. It took me a while to get there, a little little bit more timid, not necessarily want to be vocal and out front. Kind of see Aaron maybe the same way, but he's not. He doesn't let that get in the way of him being a leader, which is awesome. And I also think through talking about being a leader on the team and having baseball intelligence. We're at Cooperstown, and Aaron's first guy over there to pick up the signals from the other team, and he's picked up what's going to be a fastball, what's going to be a strike. So Aaron's over there in the corner in the dugout, just kind of hiding over there, real conspicuously, just sitting there, and he's calling out names or numbers. This is going to be a curveball, this is going to be a fastball, and it helped. We don't hit curveballs very well, but when we know that it's going to be a curveball, we hit them a lot better. So he's helping out the team in ways that's going above and beyond. It's not just going out there trying to hit, trying to throw, trying to do whatever. It's going above and beyond and being a valuable asset for your teammate. You talk about hitting. Aaron improved this year in his hitting. You talk about fielding. It's an area that I know he's working on, but he's getting better as a fielder. But I really love seeing him back there as a catcher and the leadership that he displays. And then we talk about it, and Aaron comes out there and he pitches for me. And he comes out and he pitches at Cooperstown, and everybody's just absolutely jacked up, because they love him. They love Aaron Beeman. He's a good dude. He's a good teammate. He's a good leader. So Aaron gets out there, and the whole stands over down to the left, hoot and holler. And I think his brothers were the main orchestrators of that, but they were going crazy down there. And it was awesome when Pedro, or whatever we call him, Diego, when we strike Diego out. It was awesome. What did we call that? What did he put on the ball, Alan?
Stank nasty.
Put stank nasty on it. Put some stank nasty on it. He used the old Iranian tagum. Some weird angles on it. He used some weird angles on it. Aaron comes out there, and then he walks off the mound and says, "I'm your best pitcher, aren't I, Coach?" So he knows it. He's cocky. He's like, "What are you doing, Coach?" Well, hadn't I been out here before this? I know what he's thinking. I was thinking it too, honestly. But amazing job this year, Aaron. Always enjoyed coaching you. Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. Did you get Isaiah yet?
Nope.
I think it's Spencer Reeves.
Could be. Left or right hand?
It's a right-handed.
It's a lefty.
Spencer Reeves.
It's
Spencer Reeves!
I'm 5.
Maybe you're not. You said it's a lefty.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So Spencer, Spencer's just, again, hey, we got some boys on the team that are athletes, and Spencer is one of those athletes. I love the flowing hair when a lot of those things get accomplished. It's amazing. I think back, it 2 years ago, where he, I think he kind of set the precedence for jumping over people, because it was, I think it was 2 years ago. Ben, you weren't here, and Spencer hurdles a guy, which Saxon ended up doing that this year, it's unbelievable. But that's the athleticism that he has, and it's one of those that Spencer is a kid that you feel like you can put him just about anywhere, which is a gift. It's one of those, as you get older, being able to play multiple positions is a gift. It certainly allows you to be more versatile when the coach says, "Hey, can you play this?" "Yeah, I can play this." "Hey, can you play this?" "Yeah, I can play it." It's one thing to say it. It's one thing to be able to do it well. So Spencer's able to go out there and play many positions on the field and do it well. The one thing that Spencer, I feel like that you really excelled at this year was your hitting. Offensively, really proud of the season that you had at the plate. And I did write down some stats on this. Spencer, from a hitting standpoint, average was 366, which was Brady's also. Spencer, which is number three on the team. Spencer's average 366. Looking at on base percentage, 471. So almost half the time, Spencer's on base. And again, that's also number 3 on the team this year. I know Spencer was also looking to get that first home run. Let me just get that first home run. I think it happened when I wasn't even around, didn't it? I was gone that game.
No,
Except
you
the
know,
first
no,
home
it's
run.
when we hit
It was-
3
no.
home runs.
Yeah,
It
you
was-
were
it
I was
against
gone.
Alabama.
I was gone. I wasn't even here for the
Yeah,
first
we
home
were.
run.
No, yeah, you were here. Yeah, we
No,
were.
you- no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. No, it's when we.
It was when
Dad.
we played Outcast and we were down
We
9
beat
to
'em.
Yeah, we were
You
down
got it.
9
I
to
believe you.
1.
Oh, yeah.
So Spencer, I wasn't here. I'll just tell you,
Yeah,
I wasn't
Dad.
here.
He was
Spencer
coming
gets
back
his
from-
first home run.
Yeah, we were going to Dunkin' Donuts.
I
at the
got it.
airport
I
going-
wasn't here. Spencer hit his first home run. And then, of course, he follows it up with a couple. One at Cooperstown, right? 2 at Cooperstown.
Yep.
Good Lord. So 3 home runs for the season, which ended up being tied for number 4 in our home runs this year. But this is a really cool stat because it also helps with batting average, but it helps with on base percentage. Spencer walked 20 times this year, which is number 2 on the team for walks. So that doesn't just happen by accident. That tells you that he's a good hitter because he has a really strong eye. He knows what a strike is, what it isn't. It's one of those that if Spencer looks down at me after the umpire calls it a strike and he questions it, you know, if Spencer looks at me and is like, then I know it probably wasn't a strike because he's got a good read on the ball. He is able to fight off pitches that he doesn't want. That's how you have 20 walks, having a really good eye and being selective in your pitching. But that's a big deal. Spencer hit leadoff for us a lot this year. It's because he made his way on base either through hitting or through through hitting or through being selective at the plate and getting off. And that is getting on base. That's a big deal, especially with the speed, being able to move into scoring position very quickly. So really fun to watch you this year, Spencer grow, and I appreciate you. Always good. You got Isaiah? I'll skip Isaiah. I'll make him last.
Wait.
Ben Chance.
Oh. I have like 7% and it's going down quickly.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Alright, Isaiah's gone.
We don't care about him.
You'll be all right. So Benji Chance, the one thing that I love about Benjamin Chance here is the boy is always wanting to grow. What is that face? He always loves to grow. He wants to get better. He's always, Coach, I got to get my hitting better, you know. Well, all right, what are we going to do about it? He's always looking to get better. Hey, Coach, you know, comes in after an inning and there's a play that's happened. He's asking, what should I have done? What could I have done to get better? I remember one time there was a balk that the umpire called on him that I don't even know it was a balk. But he's having a conversation out there with the umpires like, so tell me what I'm supposed to do here. You know, help me to get better. You know, we're looking at Ben's first game back this season. And he comes off the field, and there's a lot of things that Ben's got going on his mind. But the one thing he's got going on in his mind is, how do I get better? It's like, Coach, I need to get my hitting down. What do I do? How do I get better? That is something that we talked about earlier that Russ displayed, that we talked through him, is where you got to have, when you have that desire to get better, it's going to drive you to put the work in, okay? And being able to acknowledge, I need help in some certain areas, it's a big deal, all right? And so Ben displays that, and Ben has that ability. Ben's always a guy that comes out and is consistent in the field. He's got one of the best gloves out there. You know, he certainly can track balls down in the outfield just as good as any of them. And I think at one point it was Isaiah and Ben and Garrett out there. Again, we had a coach that was commenting, golly, where do you find these guys? Like, they're making plays everywhere. And again, it's so fun to be able to see that happen and that talent. You know, Ben is a guy that I put out on the mound this year. Probably not as much as I should have. But it's one of those that he would go out there. I remember Cooperstown. I remember Triple Crown. Ben goes out there and shuts him down. And it's one of those, as a left-hander, being able to put the ball where you want to put the ball, being able to have the movement that he has, is going to help you to be effective. And I certainly think that that's an area that you can continue to grow as you're going. The big thing that obviously Ben demonstrated this year that's super proud of him is just resiliency. Unbelievable. And again, it's something that this year I know that it helped you, but then in life in general, being able to fight through adversity, because as we go through this season, A lot of things that we didn't expect on the field, a lot of things we didn't expect off the field, and being able to fight through those when they come. And Ben was amazing at that, and strength and character that was above anybody else. So awesome, Ben Chance. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. You got that?
I told you.
What? Why don't you have battery, Russ?
Come on, Russ. Told you.
You got his
Yeah,
number?
I'm FaceTiming him.
Oh, do you plug it into the brick?
Got it on your brick?
Yes. All of a sudden I have 12% as soon as I plug it in.
Hello, Isaiah. How you doing, buddy? All right, so Isaiah Oakley, you know, again, what are you laughing at?
Hold it.
I'll hold it.
You hold it.
Let me get my best side here, Isaiah. Is that good? Are you playing Fortnite? Were you playing Fortnite? Okay, whatever. All right, so Isaiah, super proud of you this year. I know it was a tough season for you. You know, your injury and you know, a little thing like a broken arm, whatever. You should have just rubbed some dirt on it and gotten out there and played is what I think. I'm kidding. I know it was tough. We've had a couple players over the last couple years that have had to deal with some injuries. Won't be the last. But super proud of the way that when you had those injuries, you came out there and you were so supportive of the team. I know there were several times that, you know, things are not going the way we want them, and you're encouraging your teammates. Things are going the way we want them. Sometimes that's even harder when your teammates are having success and you're stuck not being able to play. Sometimes that's hard. That's a hard thing to swallow. But you were amazing with your teammates, being encouraging during the tough times, being encouraging during the good times too. But then just being able to see you come out at Cooperstown to be able to play your first games of the season was super fun to watch. Again, making plays all over the outfield that, you know, there's very few kids that would be able to track the balls down that you're able to track and do so naturally that you're able to do. And then the hitting that you did, being able to spark our offense at times by getting up there and getting some solid hits. You know, again, it's one of those things that just super proud of the way that you handled the adversity this year and came out and played for the Bombers. So appreciate it, Isaiah. Here's your I don't know if you can see it. Here's your trophy. I'll make sure to try not to break it, and I'll get it to you at some point. Okay. All right. Thank you, Isaiah. All right, we made it. We made it. Now, those are some individual. You gonna hang on, Isaiah? Or you gonna hang up? Okay, I'm gonna do the individual awards. Okay.
There's a pop socket on it.
I know I'm trying to, but it won't rotate. I'll be sideways. Is that all right? All right. So Bomber family, we have 3 awards that we voted on. We have MVP, we have offense, and we have defensive player this year, or defensive players this year. So these are pretty cool because I think it's one of those things that every year you just don't know sometimes. You know, it's one of those things you got to go out and earn it every year, which is pretty cool. I think it's motivation for you to come back and try harder the next year and get better. Super proud of our winners this year. I think everybody's so deserving of it. Honestly, there were a couple spots that you know, it's hard to decide because there were some deserving folks around the field. So I've said enough already. Get to it, Coach Clark. I need some ice cream. That's what you're saying, right? Shut your mouth. All right, offensive player of the year. I need a drum roll. Saxon Roberts. You want a photo over here with your? Maybe too dark. Too dark.
Don't touch it.
Oh yeah, that light.
Is that good?
That's what I need.
smells
I need
funny.
a pose like that.
Little,
Like, give me a little hip with your.
little hip, do a little hip. No, the other way.
Get the leg wrap. The leg wrap. Hey, Coach,
Okay.
the leg wrap. The leg wrap.
Leg wrap.
Yeah, hey.
Tate wants the leg wrap. All right, so this year, this is the first ever for Bomber Nation. We had a tie for our defensive players of the year. So we actually have 2 awards, right? Split, which is, again, I think both these players very deserving. And it's one of those that it's a pretty cool deal. So, y'all ready? The first defensive player of the year goes to Brody Walker. Good. Congratulations, Brody. Nice work. We'll get a photo later. Somebody wants to take a picture of me, right? Our second defensive player of the year goes to Garrett Dean. Jimmy Dean. MVP, most valuable player of the year, goes to Peyton Curtin. Leg wrap. That's going to be a new tradition that MVP gets a leg wrap. We won't do that. It's, wait, what's that? That might, should you put your head on my shoulder?
Hey, that's nasty.
Hey, seriously, so
Yep, the lights.
I won't belabor the ice cream. We got to get to it. But thank you so much for a fun season. Parents, as always, thank you so much for a wonderful season. Can't do it without your support. I do have a couple last-minute items. So, you know, it takes an army sometimes to get things done. Certainly, I can't forget about my wonderful assistant coaches. So I can't do it without them. So Ben Reben, Alan Walker, as always, thank you so much for helping me out. So can't do it without you. Couldn't have done it without you. So thank you so much. Then we have some parents that I wanted to recognize that kind of helped us out. We have a few of our Franklin Bomber golf towels that could double as not just golf towel, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But what's that? Bath towel. It's got a hook. I'd be careful. You dry off with it, but you could use it. I'd love to give it to our official scorer, Mr. Brian Campbell, for all the work that he does. That's certainly something that's not easy. It's not easy to do. I also have one for a very special moment this year, and it took a lot of work from Mr. Shannon Dean to do the paper scoreboard for us this year.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for helping, you know. That's always good. Enough said, right? I got one more. Where'd he go?
Right there, sitting there.
What's that? Oh! Yeah, I was like, where is that ugly guy? I can't forget about our very own pastor that would come out and give us a word of encouragement. I was trying to figure out, you know, when he did a sermon on Sundays, how many times we won and lost.
I was hoping you didn't figure that out. Numbers weren't great.
And we may have to change the pace of some kind of, you know, we may have a little more, little fire and brimstone next year or something. I'm not sure. Have to bring another message, but thank you so much for leading the boys in a very important aspect of life. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's a makeshift speedo. Yeah. So thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right, one more thing. Sorry. We have some gifts for the coaches.
Very large, elaborate, fantastic gifts.
Hey, that's imported wrapping paper. That's imported wrapping paper.
Imported wrapping paper. Yeah.
Very important.
Get it out of my trash.
Imported, not important. Imported.
I think I can speak for most, if not all, that it was another great season. I think this year compared to last year's, the one thing that I kind of took from everything was how much of a family this is. There was a lot of things, like Clark said, that happened, and there always will be. So I think it showed how much a family everybody is. Everybody taking care of each other, everybody getting along. You know, these guys, I don't think they remember whether they won or lost, but they're always having memories of Cooperstown in the season. So thank you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank the coaches. Thanks for taking your time. I know everybody's busy. Thank the parents for being great parents. And we appreciate you guys. And we have gifts.
And please enjoy your elaborate gifts. With the elaborate wrapping.
That was very nice. What are you doing? Are you dropping that in there? Look, take a look. Take a look. Take a look.
I just wanted to say real quick before we break up, go eat ice cream and everything. Shoemaker. Lincoln. I just want to thank y'all for being such a support this year, and it is truly a baseball family. Your moms and dads. Your mom, Spencer, was with us in the hospital with Scott. Shoemakers, we've been friends for a long time. Curtains, bringing Ben, everybody praying. Robin and Derek, of course. Shannon Dean's trying to help me get, I can't remember, what was it? Ablation therapy. I mean,
correct.
Just everyone helping, everyone praying. Just can't thank y'all enough for being such a great support for my son and being such great honorary pallbearers. It meant so much to us, and just can't thank y'all enough for giving all your time and just your encouragement and mentoring these boys the way you do. So thank you boys, for being such great friends.
And also, lastly, I know each year I say it, but especially this year, it's a lot of work that Clark had to put into the team with the whole Cooperstown experience. It's a pretty big deal to pull off, everybody getting their paperwork together, everybody being able to make it up to Cooperstown on time, having all your uniforms, everything, but Clark had to, of course, put all it together, so a very tough year to pull it together. So once again, a hand for Clark for this year, for all the hard work.
Y'all make it worth it. Y'all make it worth it for sure.
Can I say something?
Yes.
We were going to kind of do this privately, but it seemed like the right moment. But your Bomber family has something for you guys. And so this is just a small expression of how much we love y'all and how much you are truly family to us. And so this is for you guys for whatever. We love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You didn't have to do. Y'all done, everyone here has done so much for us already. Can't even. Love y'all. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Now, as families, we need to partake in ice cream.
And now ice cream again.